a show that tackles the big issues affecting the BVI and the rest of the Caribbean. Searches for answers to today's big questions and gives viewers a unique perspective on developing stories. Follow the big story with me, Kathy Richards, only on JTV. This show is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, NV Salon Spa Nail and Barbershop, HOV Medical, and Digicel. Sign up for Digicel Plus Home Light Bundles, faster internet, movies, and sports. Gentlemen, we are here once again. It's been quite a few weeks, or probably a month, 2 or 3, that we haven't really spoken, and we know the last time we spoke, it was about the cyber security breach that you would have had that affected almost your entire system. We're here today. This morning I woke up to several messages in different chats, everyone sharing the word BVIEC is up again, BVIEC is up again, which says a good thing. And here we are to talk about it. So first, Mr. Smith, how are things now after this extended period?
Good morning again. Well, we have, I guess, more or less recovered fully from the cyber attack we had in late August. It was. In August. And I'll allow my information technology experts to expound on that. But essentially, in terms of payment of bills online, that is now back to what it was before. And we still have a couple things to do on the automatic meter reading system that is still left to be done. Internally, our systems are about 90-something% back to where they were before, but with security enhancements. So we have, I know there was a bit of a radio silence from us for a while. As you could imagine, this affected us significantly. And it affected us, through the whole spectrum of what we're able to do in BV Electricity Corporation. And it's actually set us back a couple months in some of the things that we're doing. So I'm just glad to report that we're back in that, and that the public could look forward to other things coming on swiftly in the future. So just for information purposes, just allow Mr. Eubanks give a brief outline of what happened, so that the general public will have a better understanding of what occurred, and so they themselves might be able to avoid things like these. And then I guess he would allow Mr. Cruz to come in and give some specifics on some of the things that we are doing going forward.
All right, thank you, Gian. Thank you, Kathy. So in mid-August, the 15th, we had a cybersecurity breach. It was essentially a ransomware attack. It essentially affected more than 50% of our systems. And they got to our major system. What helped us, or was our saving grace, essentially was our backup systems. Because of how we have our backups designed, some of our backup systems actually escaped the ransomware attack, even though they did get to a part of it, but we managed to recover quite a bit of our information because of that. Particularly the online payment system wasn't directly affected. I know a lot of customers are concerned about their credit card information. Just to assure them that when we did our forensics and we had an outside expert assist us with going through the forensics to see what had happened, there was no evidence that they had breached our online payment system. There was no evidence that the credit card information had gotten out. We have been, let me say, looking around, searching on different areas of the internet. People know about the dark web and so forth, where information is exchanged. We have not seen any evidence of that on our scoring of these digital areas. So that's the first thing. We have restored the system to where it originally was. So it's the same system. You will have the same login, same passwords, but we have made some enhancements in the background to the system. Hector might be able to give you a little bit more details on that. We don't want to let out too much, but we have made security enhancements to our system. The online payment is something that we're looking at continuing to improve and continuing to upgrade the security. It's a system that we've had in place for a number of years, and we're working diligently to change it, to upgrade it, to add some features that customers have been asking us for over a number of years. This we're working on for 2025. We had already started working on it, however, the ransomware attack has set us back a little bit, so we decided to restore the original system with some security enhancements. And we've further put some measures in place to even further make sure that, okay, you can pay online and you don't have to worry about your credit card information getting out there. And knock on wood, it's safe to say that we have not had we've had the website now, I think, since 2011. And there has been no credit card incident. No person has had a major issue with their credit card, any loss of information or anything like that. So, we hold that, we're proud of that achievement, and we're doing everything that we can to make sure that this continues. So the online payment is up, and of course we will make it further enhancements as we go along.
Okay, so what do you have to add to that?
Morning. To Kelvin's point, yes, we have added a number of security measures to the system to prevent any form of intrusion and minimize access to only the things that the customers need. This was an incident that, yes, brought us a lot of late hours, but we were able to overcome them. Thanks to the general manager for his support. He was very supportive. There were times when he sort of got under my skin, but overall he was very supportive. He was very supportive. He provided the resources we needed. And I'm grateful for where we are. I'm thankful to God for where we are, and that's it for me.
Okay, talk about some of the improvements that we're looking to do. Could you give us a little bit of information? And like you said, not revealing too much for security purposes, but what are some of those features that we can see improved in the very near future, like you said, in 2025 at least?
In 2025, in terms of the features that we want to add, are where customers can manage multiple accounts from one account. That's one of the features we look to add. We look to add the autopay feature, where customers can just set it and forget it, and it automatically deducts it. So in terms of features, that's what we're working on. But in terms of security, the security that we have now, we will take it forward and even add further security as technology changes and new ways of securities are discovered. And I want to add that, just for clarity, the system was hacked on August 15th, and we were basically printing bills by the 22nd of August. Just a few days after that, bills were being printed, people were receiving the bills. There was no manual process involved in terms of the customers' accounts. They had their information, At that same time, we could have restored the online system because it was never touched. So both systems depend on each other, but customers could have actually, if we wanted to, we could have spin up the system and could have paid their bills. But as a matter of caution, we ensure that we fortify the system so that we can release it to the public.
Mr. Smith, you had spoken about taking this matter really seriously, launching investigations to whatever levels that would have been needed. Have you been able to make any progress in trying to crack to find out where this breach came from and possibly looking at any form of prosecution?
So I'll begin by answering that question by supplementing what Hector said. Hector can't tell you what security enhancements you made, or else he wouldn't remain employed with us. So he dodged around that fairly well. He just didn't answer the question, which is good. So he won't be able to answer that. But yes, there have been investigations at the highest levels, even with the National Crime Agency in the United Kingdom. We know that the players in this have done it before. We've identified what a ransomware was, and it has occurred before. So we now have a footprint that actually be used to enhance, detection methods in the future. Now, in terms of prosecutions, I'm not aware of any at our side, on our side, but I know that the players in this are they've raised their head a bit, so that footprint will be followed in the future to the highest levels in the United Kingdom government, right? So we've done what we needed to do here and all in terms of investigations, because we know that not just BYEC, but for anybody that ransomware hits, it could be an expensive venture, it could be debilitating, where you shut down entire organizations and then you have to pay. That is not good for business generally. So we've taken part, we've submitted whatever evidence we can, and that'll be taken forward. Our duty now is to make sure that the people in this country have energy, and that's what we concentrate on, and protect ourselves in a way that we need to. In the future, some of those security enhancements might rear themselves to the customer, where it might be a little more difficult to access your account. Well, I wouldn't say more difficult, a little more tedious. But that's
a more stringent system.
Right. So that's part of the course. But right now, even though we have enhanced procedures within the organization, and we have enhanced procedures on the back end where the customer can't see, I would not discourage the IT group from going ahead with those additional security measures for the customer in the future.
Okay. Over the months while the system was down, you would have had to revert to the old-time way of paper trail. Mm-hmm. And I think in some instances where you would have had to be doing an assessment type of way in giving persons their reading, very few people we would have heard say, oh, they're paying more than before. And so how are we now going back to that full system of delivering the service in the most accurate of way by reading and being able to source their direct information? Some people would have had a debit or a credit because of that. So how are we smoothing that out?
Right. So whatever those accounts are, they'll have to be sorted out because we have to be fair to the customer. We need to be fair to ourselves as well, right? So we would have made those estimates that they weren't off by that much. People don't generally use more. The habits don't change unless they're around holiday time or summertime when they're not there. So those credits or debits will be balanced out in the subsequent billings. I don't expect that you'll see much of a difference though, based on what we've seen. We did have to, well, first of all, I'd like to apologize to the public for the inconvenience that it was caused to them. I don't know what else to say. We did our best, and it was very inconvenient. We tried our best to be, patient. And I know that the public was patient with us. Well, most of the public was patient with us.
Sounds like you had some fights to deal with.
we had some disagreements, like some tense moments. But we realize after a while that's how life works out sometimes. But like I say, our fundamental goal is to deliver a good product to the customer, right? And we would actually err on the side of caution and provide you with electricity while you owing us money. We've done that several times. Like for example, many disconnections that we could have done, we didn't do it because we are aware of the inconvenience. So we just like to, like I say, thank the public for the patience and that they could expect that going forward things will get better, right? We've not only in terms of the IT, where we obviously we made some investments and we're going to have to make some more investments, or we're also going to have to making investments in our capital infrastructure. We're investing in our people and the working conditions because we believe that happy employees make for a successful company, right? So I just want, like I said about 2 times before, I'd say it a third time, that we really apologize for all the inconvenience that was caused.
Okay, and as I walked in there this morning, downstairs is packed and the line is long. Someone said to me, Miss Cathy, you come to catch us in this very long line with this long wait. That says that, though people may have gotten the information that, hey, you can go back to your online payment, they're not just yet sure as to what they should do or if they should be trusting of doing the online payment. What do you say to those people?
It's back. So they could trust it 100%, they could trust it 1,000%. But what I'd also like to do is let the cat out of the bag a little.
Okay.
One of the things that we're trying to do to improve the convenience to the customer is to see if we'll get some kiosks that we could put at strategic locations so that people not only do it online but be able to just go to a kiosk. It'll have to be in a secure location like a government office or something. Or we could just go and make the payments just to make it more convenient, especially on the outer islands, to make it more convenient, because we believe that happy customers pay better too, right? More willingly, yeah. And we want to make sure that as much as possible, interacting with BVIC is something that doesn't need to be long and tedious, right? We prefer if you're not even aware that we're there. When you turn on the light, it comes on. You're not even aware that BVIC exists. Just know the lights come on, and that's the point that we want to get to. If we're efficient and effective enough, providing a really good service, then the inconvenience to the customer is minimized or negated altogether. And that's what we're aiming for. So you could imagine that this cyber attack, who some people said wasn't really true in those type of things, but this cyber attack actually set us back. And Eubank is saying a couple of months. They look more to me like 6 months, because we had to fix back what was messed up, and then we had to find ourselves to get back on track again to do the things that we were headed to do from before. So I just be patient, and I think that the public will be glad of what will come into the future.
So you have a timeline as to when you think that you will start rolling out or probably doing the first test of a kiosk somewhere?
Well, I think Banks might be able to answer that question more.
Mr. Banks?
Sometime in the middle of next year.
I have him under pressure, but hope he don't fold.
We always deliver on our promise. So we're trying to make it more convenient for the customers, as the GM said, by implementing kiosks in strategic locations throughout the territory. We want to keep it similar to what we have, so that there isn't really a big learning curve for customers. You can just walk up to the thing, execute the payment and go about your business. So sometime during the middle of next year is when you should start sales, a little bit of activity where that's concerned.
Okay. I don't know if it's appropriate right now, but I will ask this question anyhow. Where are we with the energy saving system on Anegada, where we're looking to have the solar plant up and running? Where are we with that?
So we expect that to be substantially complete by the end of this year. That's the track that we're on. You know, it's a project, so sometimes things pop up. But right now we are on target to be producing power from the solar installation by the end of the year.
Wow. Okay. And has the situation that prevailed over with Jas Van Dyke been totally solved? No further challenges since?
I wouldn't say the Jas Van Dyke situation is totally solved. We repaired the cable, so now they back to where they were before the cable was damaged. But one of our strategic goals is resilience, and to have a more resilient power source to Jas Van Dyke means that we either have to lay another submarine cable, or we need to have some alternate means of providing power in Jas Van Dyke. And right now, that doesn't exist immediately. It would take us at least 8 hours, well, right now maybe about 12 hours to get an alternate source of power if the cable fails again. So that is something that we have to work on. And like I say, unfortunately for me, when I came, there's a lot of things that needs to be done. But I have a good team, I believe, and just trying our best to prioritize and get things done as rapidly as we can. Because like I say, we believe that the public should not be aware of our problems. Right? They just should have reliable, consistent, clean power 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's what we believe that's our goal, right? But you know, as a team, I believe that we will continue to just tick off the issues one at a time and improve. There's a lot of things we will speak on at another time. There's major enhancements to our capabilities.
Yeah.
Major enhancements to the BVIC's capabilities in the very near future. But we'll speak about that
at another time. While we were down and you were busy looking after the cyber issue, there were so many questions being asked around when other issues would have developed, like that of Jas Van Dyke and Anegada. And one of the things that he constantly asks is, why can't there be a standby generator stationed on those islands? As for instance, whenever power goes out and there is a major challenge or so, they have to wait until you send one over to help them out. So what's the challenge in having one right there on the spot permanently?
I think the challenge is time. When I say that is that we were actually in the process of figuring out how to build or where to locate a small standby system in Jas Van Dyke. And then the question also comes up, should it be a diesel generator, or should we proceed with one of the plans that we have in train to put in a renewable installation? Right? Right now, the BVIC has a proposal on the table to install wind generation on Jas Van Dyke that would not only supply Jas Van Dyke's needs, but actually supply power back to the grid on top floor. Right? So it's a dance, I guess, between whether you want to put in a diesel generation set, which is simple and easy and quick, or whether you want to try as much as possible to maintain alignment with the government policy to integrate renewables into the grid, right? So that is the tension we have there. The issue with renewable generation that tends to be more expensive upfront. In the long term, it is not, but upfront it tends to be expensive, right? And there's some capital investments that we need to make in BVIC that will come to at some point when we're ready to reveal that will allow us to integrate like a significant amount of renewables onto the system without any technical problems presenting themselves, right?
Okay.
So that is the tension, because to put in the wind generation capability in Yasundak, for example, is several magnitudes more expensive than to just put in a small diesel generation plant, right? And that would be off. Unfortunately, the issues in Anegada with the diesel generation sets that are over there, they're aging. They should be replaced. We had to use one of our standby sets here in Tantolo to send to Anegada, and that's not running Anegada. Right, so there's a lot of things. We're trying to deal with the low-hanging fruit, make sure we have the fundamentals down, things like have proper internal procedures, make sure we record things properly, make sure we're strong technically, so that when we start to build out, when we start to get more sophisticated, we don't find ourselves running ahead of ourselves, right?
Okay.
So, I just like to say to the public, help is on the way, so to speak. There's a politician that said that once. And that just be patient. We have some challenges that I have to say, I have to publicly acknowledge and thank the Premier and the Minister of Works for assisting us with some internal fiscal issues that we have. And I really appreciate that. One of the things that we do is we don't just ask for people to acknowledge our issues. We present them with the problems. And not just the problems, the reason why there's a problem, the problem, and all solutions, right? And because of that, the Premier and the Minister are able to have confidence that whenever they assist us with anything, that is grounded in fact, in solid analysis, right?
Okay.
So we're happy for that. But like I said, we have a lot of work to do on a fundamental technical and procedural level that we are dealing with, so that we could begin to introduce a level of sophistication that is befitting of the beaver economy.
Awesome. I wouldn't end without mentioning Virgin Gorda, because they'll kill me. We too have issues. When will we stop being a stepchild to the Eastern system? If something happens on this side, it affects them. When will that system be rectified, where if the power goes out in certain parts of Eastern, it does not affect Virgin Gorda?
Well, the Virgin Gorda is connected directly to our transmission line. But for reasons that present themselves sometimes, we have to share between the transmission line and the actual eastern feeders. The problems that have been presenting themselves in Virgin Gorda recently, though, were actually isolated to Virgin Gorda. Within the last 2 weeks, the issues we had, there was an issue this weekend, that those guys were fixed by this evening, I think. But I just like the people of Virgin Gorda to know that although I might not necessarily share the sentiment, I do accept that many believe that Virgin Gorda is a better island, right? So,
are we going there?
yeah, but we don't have any stepchildren. It might feel that way, but whatever resources available in BVAC Central, whenever there's a problem in any one of our customer bases, right, we will respond with everything that we have to rectify the problem as soon as possible. Even if it means traveling over the sea, which we've done several times, in a day and night, we'll do that. And the only thing that constrains us is if we cannot do something in a manner that is safe to the employees of BVAC, then I would prevent it, or straight up prohibit it, right? But as long as I know that all technicians and what have you can actually move to that location in a safe manner, then we'll be there. You could within as quickly a time as possible.
Okay. Awesome. I think this was a great update. I think we touched on the major stuff, and we look forward to seeing what more to come, and we hold you to the promises.
Yes.
We were successful in getting you to spit out some promises that you have in terms of development, especially with having those kiosks there and seeing the plant come to life on Anegada. Guys, thank you so much for your time to share with us.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Kathy.